Jason Kahn is a managing director at KPMG Bermuda, where he runs the insurance-linked securities practice. In the second part of our interview, he gave his perspective on some of the new structures in the reinsurance market.
What's your perspective on some of the new structures that we've seen recently, and do you see any others in the pipeline for the next 6-12 months?
I personally like the evergreen structures we've seen on the cat bond side, where they're housed within maybe a special purpose insurer that has individual cells within the SPI. So I really like that model, and I think we'll continue to see development of that. At some stage in the future, maybe we'll even see incorporated cells inside of the SPI. And I think that model makes a lot of sense. Cost containment and discrete cells for each transaction. The other thing that I've seen that I like, and I think we'll see more of, is the kind of reinsurer hedge fund partnership. So Arch would be a good example of this, where it was, I loosely called it a joint venture, but where Arch put some of their own capital into a vehicle that was also part of Highbridge Capital. So and drawing on Arch's underwriting talent and their insurance network to produce business for that vehicle. And I think we'll certainly see some more of those types of structures going forward as well. The other thing that we've seen, and I think we'll see more of, is the listed structures. So a number of the ILS funds have listed vehicles, and I think that does provide liquidity for the investor, but it also provides, similar to the hedge fund reinsurer model, also provides that permanent capital type of concept for them, so that they have have a greater certainty of capital when it comes to renewal time, for example. With any ILS fund, it's always a lot of work goes into who's going to renew, who's going to pull their capital out. Where you have a listed vehicle, you have greater certainty of how much capital is going to be around. That makes the underwriting process that little bit more agile. So we may see some more developments with that.
Are all these developments good things, or do you see any things that should be concerning to investors?
I think we've started to see a migration from very plain vanilla cat bond type of transactions, where the risk is well defined, easily quantifiable, into more non-modeled, more complex types of risk. And there's two things coming out of that in my mind. Firstly, as terms broaden and coverage becomes more comprehensive, obviously as an investor you want to make sure you're being paid to take that risk. So again, you need quality underwriting to make sure that the return you're getting for the risk acceptance is sensible. And then secondly, as things become more complex, coverage becomes broader, there is more potential for uncertainty around clauses and potential for claims dispute. Now the reinsurance industry for the longest period has generally, I think, would be seen to be a good payer. I'm not saying there haven't been claims disputes, because there's been many, but investors, I think, do understand and will need to continue to keep in mind that this is not a risk-free investment, and there is potential for loss of money, but the claims process certainly could become more complex and more subject to interpretation as we see for all types of coverage.